Take two people who are obese.
Okay.
Right? And like significantly obese. But then one decides, I don't want to live like this anymore. And either they exercise or get any type of surgery to, reduce their weight, and then they drastically change. A lot of times that couple, they suffer when one becomes, this new slim person, and then the other one is still morbidly obese. They clash. I don't know if anybody's seen the show This Is Us.
Yes,
but when
I've seen that.
Toby started losing weight, Kate, she didn't like it. She started to become way more insecure. She felt like the fat one, and he was the skinny one that was getting attention, and it's kind of similar to that.
This is talk therapy with Lady Miss, where conversation is the cure. That's how we live. Let it out, let it heal. Let the soul forgive. Talk therapy with Lady Miss.
What's up, y'all? This is Lady Miz, and you know what this is. This is from the Ground Up Productions, but you are tuned into Talk Therapy, where conversation is the cure. Today, I have Risa, a good friend of mine, and my old hairdresser, until she moved away. So let's welcome Risa to the show.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing?
I'm doing so good.
I'm glad to hear that. You look good too, girl. You glowing. I see it.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm doing well. I can't complain, but I won't.
Okay. You know what they say? What they say? We could complain, but who will listen and who would care, right?
Exactly.
But I want to first thank you for coming on the show and, just sharing your story with us, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of women out there that could relate or might need some encouragement or might decide if something is for them or not for them, So I'm hoping that, we get into some things that not only just expressing feelings and how we feel, but also just educating people on certain situations, you know what I mean, that come up. So I have all my notes prepared, you know what I mean? So I'll be looking at my notes. But today, for those who do not know, today's show is going to be about life after divorce. Okay, so that's what we're going to be discussing. What we're going to do is start with your background and content. Okay, so can you briefly share what led to the divorce, only if you're comfortable?
Okay. When I first got married, I had a lot of internal issues that I did not deal with. Okay. So me and my ex-husband, we kind of gelled off of just, we had our thing, but we were both angry. And I could speak morally for me. I had a lot of things that I just did not recover from or heal from, childhood traumas. And, I had a great childhood. So I'm not going to sit here and, my parents did a great job. They did the best they could with what they had at the time. Okay. But there were things that happened to me that I did not tell anybody. And I buried it thinking if I tuck it away, I'll be good. But then when I became pregnant with my first child, I was like, I can't live like this anymore. Like I'm about to bring, especially when I found out I was having a daughter. I'm like, I cannot be angry Risa and angry mommy. Like something gotta give. Like I have to heal. I have to, I claim that I serve a God. Like I can't walk around angry like this. So I did what I needed to do. I went to counseling. I did a lot of self-reflection, and I decided to change and accept this is what happened to me. I no longer have to be, even though I'm a victim, I no longer have to live a victim lifestyle, if that makes sense. So I decided to just change my life. But then we started to clash because we no longer had that thing in common. I was no longer the same. And so
when you say that thing in common, what is that? What's that thing?
The anger, which is what bonded us.
Oh.
So I like to give the example, and this might be a sensitive topic for some, but I think people can understand it from this way. Take two people who are obese. Okay. Right? And like significantly obese. But then one decides, I don't want to live like this anymore. And either they exercise or get any type of surgery to, reduce their weight, and then they drastically change. A lot of times that couple, they suffer when one becomes, this new slim person, and then the other one is still morbidly obese. They clash. I don't know if anybody's seen the show This Is Us.
Yes,
but when
I've seen that.
started losing weight, Kate, she didn't like it. She started to become way more insecure. She felt like the fat one, and he was the skinny one that was getting attention, and it's kind of similar to that. Okay. So I can't really, and I won't really speak on the things that my ex-husband had dealt with and still deal with, but I know that was no longer a thing that we gelled over, even though we didn't sit down and say, hey, we're both angry and happy. Okay. But if someone looked at us wrong, we were ready to, like, what you looking at, and I'm just like, I don't want to live. That's not, no.
To walk around with that type of anger and that energy, putting that out. Right.
Yeah. And I was just started to have more children. I noticed, like, I don't want to live like that. Right. And we just clashed with it. And I just become, closer to God, and not saying that he didn't. It's just we started to clash with that. And I just allowed a lot of manipulation and mental abuse. And once I took a stand, then it really was just like, oh, you changed. No, I'm just taking a stand. Right. So that's when it started to, when I started to push back, that's when I realized I can't do this anymore.
Okay. Wow. That's deep because, well, first and foremost, I feel like a lot of us as women, we will change our life for someone else, even if that means our kids, before we do it for ourselves. Yeah.
I've learned that you can't love someone out of their trauma. Us women, we have to learn how to stop taking on construction projects. You can't love... you can't say he had issues with his mama, but I'm going to show him the love that he needs. No, he has to heal the relationship with his mama, whether she's still here or not. And if he can't, you can't give him that, because even though he is physically grown, his mind is still at that point whenever that trauma happened. Yes. So he, maybe strapping, muscles, good looking, shaped up goatee, whatever it is. But his mind is that 10-year-old when mama neglected him, or mama passed away, or mama abused him, or I'm saying mom, but it could be anybody. Right. So absolutely. Us women, we tend to naturally want to love someone out of their issues, but we don't realize we're doing ourselves a disservice. And sometimes we want to love someone the way we want to be loved, but you can't do that.
Absolutely not.
You can't do that. So when you're doing that, things, they may seem all right in the beginning because I'm giving you something, and that person's just taking, but not depositing back. Yes. So I'm so big on, how could I love someone if they don't even know what love is? I'm forcing something on them and they don't even know how to receive it because they don't know what it is.
And it's funny you say that, because we have these discussions all the time. It's like, first of all, the love language, understanding somebody's love language and loving them, like you said, the way that you think they want to be loved, and then not knowing love because maybe somebody if they didn't have that model to show them and they didn't grow up in that. Right. How do they have to learn as they go along, and you become the learning experience for them. Right. So that's deep, but it's real.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I'm like, love, and some people like to battle with this, but I truly believe that love is not a feeling, it's a choice. Because if I don't like you today because you pissed me off, if I said, don't eat my leftovers, and he eats your leftovers, I don't like you right now, but that doesn't mean I don't love you anymore. Right. I'm just mad at you because you did something I specifically asked you not to do. Or I'm mad because we're clashing on something that we can't agree on. But that doesn't mean I don't love you, because if that's the case, then we don't love anybody here.
That's why love should never be
it's unconditional. Yes, it's unconditional.
There you go.
And if we learn how to love each other how God loves us, the world will be a better place.
I am loving this already. Okay, no, because this is some good stuff. Yeah. This is some good stuff and things that people need to hear. Because a lot of people a lot of people are lost.
No, they are
within themselves. So this is definitely good. Okay, so how long were you married, and how long have you been divorced?
So I got married in 2013.
Okay.
I got served with divorce papers in 2022. No, the very beginning of 2023. I'm the one who said I wanted a divorce, but I got served with the papers because there's just been speculation that I stepped out on our marriage, but I did not. I went away on a girls trip with some friends. And at that point, the beginning of the year, so let's rewind it back. Okay. The beginning of that year, actually in the middle of 2021, that's when I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't. Okay. And we got into a really, really, really bad argument. And when I knew it was done, because he was the only one I shared what happened to me. So I was molested when I was young. Okay. And I never told my parents. Oh, wow. And I shared it with him because I felt safe. Mm-hmm. And we got into a really, really bad argument. I wouldn't say scared, but I kind of was, because the girls were there and it was very heated, and we were in the bedroom. He wouldn't let me out the bedroom. So I called my dad and I'm like, Dad, can you please come up here? Because I can't get out the bedroom. The girls are downstairs crying, and I don't know what to do. My dad came up, they're arguing in the garage, and I'm trying to like diffuse. And my mom just had like a major surgery, so I didn't want to bother her. Right. So I called my father, and they're arguing in the garage, and he proceeded to tell my dad, he's getting mad because my dad is telling him, you're supposed to be her covering. You're supposed to be her protector. Mm-hmm. And you're not really doing that. And he proceeded to say, well, you were supposed to be her covering when she was 10. And I saw red. I just knew that you're taking something so precious and so sensitive, and because you're hurt, you're using it to hurt me and my family, knowing that they don't know. So that's when I kind of lost all trust and all respect. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say I am innocent throughout this entire marriage. I know I have said things that I have apologized for. There might be some things that I've said that still hurt him that I haven't apologized for. Okay. But I knew that going for the jugular in that way, I just lost respect. I couldn't get over that. And I knew, like, okay, I'm done.
So that's how your dad found out.
My dad, he didn't know. So my dad was like, what are you talking about? And I just said, don't pay him any mind. Like, he's just speaking nonsense. Like, don't. And my dad was so confused. And I just looked at him and I said, you're really doing this? Like, you're really doing this? I kind of diffused it, so the argument kind of went in a different direction. Mm-hmm. So my dad, he still doesn't know. And that's like a topic for another time. I have made peace with my dad not knowing, because I don't want him to live with guilt because he wasn't there. Like, it's a way of protecting him. And I know one day I will have this conversation with him. I've had the conversation with my mom. Is he gonna watch
this show?
I don't know, but I will tell him before he does.
Oh my God. I mean,
I will tell him before he does. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I'm still on the fence with whether I'll share it with him. Dad, I love you if you do watch this. But I will, if I do share it with him, I will have the conversation before. I don't want him to be blindsided.
Okay, yeah.
I've struggled with letting him know. Like, anybody who has dealt with something like that knows how sensitive it is. Right. Yes. And while you want to protect yourself, you also want to protect the people around you, especially your parents. So it's a very sensitive topic. And I know I'm healed from that situation, but I'm still dealing with who I'm sharing it with, even though I've publicly said it, because I'm not ashamed of it. I'm fine. It's just certain things I've kept covered just because of protecting certain people. But after that argument, I got into a major car accident the day after.
Oh my God.
I totaled the car. I was in the car with the girls. Oh, one of my girls were in school, but I was in the car with the younger two, my mom and my aunt. And when the ambulance showed up, they thought like there were fatalities. They were like, everyone's fine. I'm like, by the grace of God, we're all good. I am thankful that nobody, I had bruised ribs, but everybody was fine. Everybody was fine. And I'm like, thank the Lord. I was driving and I just like blacked out. And when I got to the emergency room, the doctor was like, honey, whatever is stressing you out, you need to let it go.
So wait, the accident was based off of you blacking out because of stress?
Yes.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That tells us that we really got to maintain and really decrease our stress levels, because it affects so many things. To black out from that, that's a lot.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It is. And I'm so grateful that no one was hurt, no one was killed. Right. Because we crashed into a building, and the person, I believe the manager of that building had just left right before. And normally that business is booming, so there's always people outside, but thankfully they were closed that day. So I just knew after that, I was like, I cannot do this. Like, we almost died.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's affecting my mental health to this point. I'm no. And so I just like want to encourage women. There is no, I'm going to stay for the kids. Don't stay for the kids. There's a difference between we're just having an issue, we need to get over it, versus this is affecting my mental health, my physical health, everything. Like I'm not thinking straight, depression, all the things. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Okay. I had this. It's a little small book.
Okay.
For the sake of, okay. Yeah. I'm giving that to you for that one. I wrote that book because it's about relationships and why people stay. Like for the sake of what? You know what I mean? And I get into so many different things. I think that is going to be relatable to you.
I know for me as a Christian, for the sake of, what are they going to say in the church? Or,
that's in there. It's a little book, but I'm touching some topics.
Or what's God, what's God going to think? And it's like, no. And, a lot of people I'm learning as I grow in Christ that everything in the Bible from the beginning to the end, there's scripture for everything. However, people like to apply scripture where it doesn't belong. So not that God can't turn things around. Don't get me wrong. But here I am gluing the pieces of this relationship when I didn't even consult God about this marriage. I went ahead and did it. Let's get married.
That's a deep message right there. That's another one.
Married. The song, Let's Get Married. And it's like, we've been together for so long, knowing that there was red flags for both of us. I'm not pointing the finger all on him.
I like that. Accountability.
Yeah. Yes. I have to. And that's why I was comfortable even having this conversation with you, because if I was that bitter ex-wife, him, even though I stand firm in the things that I have experienced, and there were a lot of things that were done to me that's just not right. I take accountability in my own actions. One, accountability of I decided to stay. Accountability of there were things that I said that I shouldn't have said just because I felt you need to hear what I said. There was a lot of things that he has endured that I try to use against him because I wanted him to hurt the way I was hurting. We hurt each other. However, there were things that he just was not recognizing. And I'm like, I'm staying. Why? Because the pastor said we have to? Or because we made vows? No.
Right.
Absolutely not. Like, God's not going to condemn me because I said I don't want to be with him anymore.
Right.
And yes, 3 beautiful children came from this marriage. However, look at the disservice that we are doing to them by staying in this toxic relationship.
Yes. Oh, wow. That's a lot. We unpacked a lot in that one little section. We got a few sections to go on. But before we move to the next section, I just want to ask you very briefly, the person that did that to you when you were young, is it somebody that your dad knows very well? Yes, he's my dad's godson. And he was young himself. He was, I believe, 13 at the time. Okay. So as I've gotten older, I recognize that he was a baby. When I'm younger, I'm like, he's bigger than me. I just, I was the eldest. And I feel like a lot of children who are the oldest, when you're not around older siblings or older cousins, you have a hard time recognizing people who are actually older than you, if that makes sense. So because I was the oldest, I didn't really have older cousins or things like that were around me a lot for me to distinguish, they're that much older than me. Like, people who were older than me, I just automatically thought like you were an adult or you were an older teenager. He was only a few years older than me. I was 10, he was 13, but I was naive. I didn't know anything about sex. You know what I realized? That because listen, that is a very common thing that happens in a lot of families. Most, especially our people, we love to brush it under the rug and put the guilt and the shame on ourselves instead of speaking up. It's and even some of the adults that know will cover it up too to try to protect like the family. But most people that do that are victims themselves. Right. I know a lot of people that have been molested, and it's like even guys, and it's like from other men, and it's like, it's because somebody did it to me, so people, it is important that people go get the help that they need to heal from that and stop being ashamed. You're a victim. You shouldn't be ashamed of that, right? So okay, let's move on to the next section. Okay, and this part is emotional and mental health, and you might have touched a little bit on it already, but I still have some questions. Okay. What were the hardest emotional moments you experienced during and after your divorce?
okay, my divorce is still not finalized.
Okay.
So I want to say in the very beginning, I learned, even though I was served, he didn't really want to go through with it. It was more of a manipulation tactic. Like, I'm going to serve you, but I want you to stay. Especially since a lot of things that were said just didn't make sense, like the legal words that were used. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. It was hard because we were in this house. I decided to move out of the master bedroom. I stayed in the guest bedroom. And I felt like I was secluded to this one room. I couldn't be comfortable in my own house.
So your house wasn't a home anymore?
No. It was just a place where I ate, slept, bathed. You know, I tried to make it comfortable for the children. But even then, like, even though, you know, people don't give children enough credit. They're smart.
Very.
And even then, they weren't comfortable. You know, if they saw me and their father talking, they would immediately like, don't fight. Or don't argue. Don't yell.
Right.
You know, like, Daddy, you got to be nice. Mommy, don't say that. And, you know, it's just, it emotionally that weighed on me because it's our duty to protect them. And I felt like I was doing them a disservice because they were so worried about what they were going to hear or see. And I was just like, no, you're too busy focusing on don't say that to me or don't talk to me like that. Not realizing this is really affecting them. So just trying to protect them, but also trying to keep sane because it was just, you know, as females, you go home, especially you take off that bra. It's all good. You're not going back out. Right.
Lashes or wig.
Right. Take it off. You taking off your clothes. You good. That wasn't for me. I stayed fully clothed until it was time to go to bed. I didn't feel comfortable walking around the way I wanted to.
So you didn't want to send mixed messages?
No.
Okay.
Because while we were still going through that, it was like a battle of still like, so you still don't want to be with me? Or trying to like say things that would make me want to, you know, just, y'all know what I'm saying. It's just, I didn't want to give mixed messages. I didn't want to give that energy off to where, you know, to make him feel like, oh, well, maybe. No, it was straight up no.
You know what I hear when you say that? It's that R. Kelly song. When a woman's fed up,
ain't nothing you could
do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? When you reach that certain point, it's like, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
So it was just that really weighed heavily on me.
Okay. So how did divorce affect your mental health and what helped you get through it?
My mental health. So after the accident, I was talking to my parents and I said, I cannot do this anymore. So I'm going to have to figure something out. At the time I was selling jewelry, and without speaking too much on the legal aspect of it, I knew that I had to figure it out in a way that he wasn't going to try to take advantage, because I knew that's what he was going to do because he was mad. So if I was making too much money from this business that's technically a marital asset, he was going to fight for it. Rightfully so. That's kind of what happened. So I decided to stop selling the jewelry because I had to protect myself.
Right.
Like, you're going to fight me for something that I built. Yes, you paid the bills and you allowed me to or you made a way for me to grow this business, also doing hair. And I was a stay-at-home mom, but I was a stay-at-home working mom. Let's not get it twisted. I provided as well. But I knew that that was going to be a fight, because if he could throw my sensitive situation out there to the person who I was protecting the most, I knew that there was no protection for me when it came down to, I want this, I want that, I want that. So I told my mom, I said, I'm going to have to do something. And she said, well, come work at the daycare with me. She works at a daycare. And so I worked at a daycare for a couple of years, saved as much money as I could. And I was determined to get out that house, which I did. I ended up buying a house, moved out of there. Me and the girls were in our home. First home I could say. I'm proud of myself. I was able to do it.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So I knew after that, that was my end goal. And it's still not an end goal, because I believe that's my first home. I believe that I will have multiple properties. And I want to show the girls like that you can do it. And you don't need a man to do it. Right. It'd be nice. I am not against relationships. I think they're beautiful. I think love is beautiful. I think having the right person in your life is a beautiful thing. But when you're trying to force it with the wrong person, it's it's chaotic. It does not work. It's chaotic. So yeah, after that, I made a plan and I just stuck it out and stuck through with it until I got where I wanted to be. And I'm still not where I want to be, but I'm not where I was.
Where you was. Yeah. Okay. Did you go through a grieving process? And if so, what did that look like?
I did. Before I moved out, I found out about another female, and I didn't think it was gonna throw me the way it did. Mm-hmm. I remember I immediately ran to my parents' house. I went banging on my mama's bedroom door. I was in full tears, and I was just like, I think I was so emotional because I was accused of stepping out on our marriage for so long when it wasn't me.
They say sometimes it's the one that that accuses is the one that's doing it.
Yes. Yeah. So I was mad. I was just like, how dare you? Right. And I didn't even care that he decided to move on, but I felt so disrespected. Like, I'm here with our 3 kids, literally just dragging myself from day to day because it's exhausting. Our kids are so close in age. They're back to back and they're needy because they're little. I mean, kids are needy. Heck, even as an adult, if your parents are still alive, you're still needy, Yeah,
why not? Right.
Right. So it was just like the audacity of you to accuse me when, we're still living in the same house. And even though, yes, we're going through this divorce, but we're still living together. I was just thrown for a loop, and I was just like, no. So when I found that out, I was just like, okay, I'm really moving the hell on now.
Yeah, that's like an eye opener.
Yeah,
because no matter what, when you're going through something, but you don't expect the person to just quickly replace you so fast. Like, okay, well, I'm just moving on so quickly. It's like, wow,
But with things like that, and I want to tell other females, when that happens, when I look back, and it's hard to say don't take it personal because you've invested so much time, and you almost feel like some women almost feel like you are where you are because of me. But it's like, how dare you even say that? If they can do that, they never really loved you in the first place. So remove yourself and don't take it personal because it's not about you. People like that, it's about them. And they will leech onto anything that they can and suck that person dry, whether it be another relationship, like, a lover or a friend, family member. They will leech onto whoever allows them to leech onto them. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just like, you know what? Well, wipe your tears, Reese. It's good. It's fine. Yes, the father of your children, but don't take it personal because if he really did love you, you wouldn't really be in this situation. It's some people, or even females, are guilty of this too. They love how this relationship makes them look.
Yes.
This makes me feel like a man. This makes me feel like a woman. Yep. This makes me look good. No one can see my scars or my wounds because I got a wife and I have kids. We drive a nice car. I got a good job. No one can see. But when we get home, guess who sees? Me.
Right.
I see all the stuff
and
underneath
the kids
there.
See it.
And the kids see it.
And the close family members, if you're written to them. You know what I mean? Like, that's what happens. Yeah. But, and you know what? Social media plays a major big part of that. Absolutely. Because everybody has to show, look at us. But nobody, people are admiring certain situations.
Right.
And they have no idea, what's really going on behind closed doors. A lot of people go through that.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, we're going to the next section here, and this part is called self-discovery and growth.
Okay.
All right. So this question is, what did you learn about yourself after? I know you said it's still not finalized, but pretty much after the divorce that you didn't realize before.
How strong I am. She introduced me. My name is Risa, but my name means laughter. Okay. And I know that that's the perfect name for me because one thing Risa gonna do is laugh.
That's right.
And it's just so much joy that I naturally have. And when I look back at the times that I lost it, I vowed to myself that I would never, ever let anybody, whether it be another romantic relationship, friend, family member, rob me of that because it's not theirs, it's mine.
That's right.
So I realized how much joy I've had even throughout some of the situations I was going through. Because a lot of my friends, even people who watch this, they have no idea. All the things that I'm saying now, a lot of people will be like, what? And even
my God.
I know some, it's going to throw some people for a loop, and I'm sorry, but not sorry. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to be ashamed of. And while I lost respect for my ex-husband for some of the things that he's done, he's still the father of my children. And while I'm not afraid to say the things, if it makes some people mad, I don't care. Because I've protected and held on to things for so long in protection of him and our relationship, and it's only done me a disservice. So when I look overall, it's really just I really can reflect on how strong I am. And sometimes I don't think about it until I sit back. Like yesterday, I worked all day long. Like my feet were burning. I had 3 clients. I had my day job during the day. I'm in the school district. I am in the social work field.
Oh, okay.
So I was working all day long, and I just sat back and I was just like, I really work really, really hard. And just to process all of it, it's just me. I get the kids ready for bed. I feed them. I bathe them.
Do you feel that's a lot on you to handle?
A lot.
Does it ever make you regret? Like, oh my God, I wish that maybe I didn't. And
no, because it was just me when we were together.
Oh, okay. Next question, I guess.
That's just the truth. I mean, naturally, and this is not to downplay men, but naturally, in a lot of relationships, moms kind of do a lot of the emotional lifting in the relationship. Even with the kids, it's on moms. This is not to downplay dads, or husbands.
Well, we're emotional beings.
Yes, we're emotional beings, and we kind of hold the family together in that way. Mm-hmm. So when you have a partner who is not that way, naturally, but not that way on purpose, because they don't want to become vulnerable. They don't want to uncover the things that are literally eating them up inside. It's more weight for the other partner to carry. So that's how I realized, like, I've been doing this all along. And so during COVID, he couldn't stay. He was mandated overtime. So he had to stay near his job. Okay. And that's when I realized, like, you can do this. He's not even here and you're doing it. Like, yes, financially, I would figure it out because he did play a heavy part in it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I'm not afraid to work. So the other things I can do because I'm already doing it. So while it's very heavy and yes, it's a lot, I do believe that God gives me the strength to just endure.
Right.
So it's a lot, but I'm good.
Okay. How has your definition of love or partnership changed since the separation and the divorce?
It's changed in a way that I know to not allow someone to treat me any old way just because they feel like they can. Okay. And not to try to love someone out of their issues, because that's just impossible. Also to set boundaries.
Okay.
I've learned to just not be afraid to say, I don't like that. That's not going to work.
Speak up.
Yeah, that's not going to work. I don't like it. But I also know that you can't nitpick either, because then you might as well just be by yourself. Like it's really impossible to have someone check off every box. Because I know there's some things that I do that's probably annoying as heck.
We all got annoying ways. There's no perfect person.
There's not. And you know what's crazy is, like, people who like to throw that disclaimer out, I've learned is they don't want to take accountability for the things that do bother people. Because I know you're not perfect. You don't got to announce that. None of us are.
Right.
We all wake up the same way. We all go to the bathroom the same way. We all eat the same way. So you don't have to sit here and tell me you're not perfect. No, I want you to take accountability to the things that are bothering me that you can fix. And it goes for me as well. If I'm done something that's bothering you, let me know. Right. And we can figure this thing out. And it's okay to agree to disagree.
Absolutely. Because you're not always going to agree on everything.
You're not. And if you get that sooner than later, it's your relationship would be fine. And that goes for every relationship, friendship, family, not just a romantic partner. It's for every relationship, even coworkers. Right. Like, you don't always have to agree with an employee or your boss. It's just, okay, you can have that. I know how I feel.
Pick your battles too, right?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Okay. What was your biggest misconception that you had about divorce before going through it?
Bruh. It really shows how nasty and vindictive someone can be. Like, just when you think someone couldn't go any lower, they just keep digging. They just keep digging. It's
go
like,
low to the flow, huh?
What you trying to get to the ends of the earth? Like, what's happening here?
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. And it's like some of the things I would have never thought.
It's coming from hurt and pain.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why, honestly, because some people will say, like, Risa, I don't know how. I'm like, how I know I'm okay is because I stopped taking it personal. That doesn't mean it's not annoying. It's still annoying as heck. Mm-hmm. But I stopped taking some things personal. Some of the things that are even said about me, some of the things that even family has said about me, I just
family
know,
on your end or his?
No, his.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't care.
You know what I realized too, in situations like that, because people take on other people's hurt and trauma, and then they start to say things, and they don't realize that they're just making the situation worse or hurting someone even more instead of like keeping quiet or just trying to give peaceful advice. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That and then also people are afraid to hold other people accountable.
Right.
And I thought that I had a good relationship with that side of the family. And I have repaired some relationships with some of them. And some of them I don't really waste my time to because I just feel like it doesn't matter. I know where I am in this, and it's not my job or duty to prove to you anything.
Absolutely.
So if you don't want to believe me or you feel like I'm the wrong one, then Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you.
Because you don't have anything to prove to them anyway.
Exactly. I don't care.
Right.
Some relationships, I cared enough because I had a good relationship with some of them. And that's my children's family as well. Right. So while we may not talk, I want us to be good because if my children are going to be around you, I need us to be good because I'm not comfortable having my children around people who dislike their mama.
Exactly. That part.
Yeah. So,
that part.
Like, I'm fine. I mean, there might be some people who still feel some kind of way, and that's okay. I'm not here to please anybody. I know my stance in all of this and where I stand in all of this, and I'm not here to... I've learned to stop explaining. I'm not going to keep explaining to you.
It's hard though to get to that
and you know what? It's also hard because throughout all this mess and chaos, there's still a part of me that wants to protect him. And
that's deep.
And it's because I know so much of what he's went through that if some of the things were uncovered, I think that even his family and his friends, they will look at it differently. But it's not my job to go spilling everything. That would be up to him when he's ready to just open up. It's still part of me wants to because I feel bad for the things that he's had to endure that he hasn't recovered from or healed from. Right. So that's where the grace comes from. Like, even though he gets on my nerves, I still have grace towards like a lot of the situations.
Is there still a love for him?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Okay. I mean, if he was, I don't know. If something happened to him, I would be sad.
Okay. Caring.
Yeah, I
empathy
care.
And compassion.
Yes. But love, I'm choosing not to protect myself because he does not know what love is. And I stand firm on that.
But just because he doesn't, what does that have to do with you?
Because he can't receive it. So to protect myself and not get frustrated, I just keep it cut dry. So with him, he probably thinks I'm the most cold-hearted person on the earth, but it got nothing to do with him. It's to protect me. Okay. Because if I fall for it, hey, Normie, you want to come over? Nope.
Okay. Gotcha. We're going to move on to the next session. This part is called parenting.
Okay.
All right. So how did the divorce impact your children? And how did you get help or help them adjust to what's going on?
The one thing I've learned to not do is say anything disrespectful or bad about their dad in front of them. So like if I need to vent or say some things, I will call my close girlfriend, my parents or whatever when they're sleeping or if they're occupied. Like I won't, because I don't want them. That's none of their business.
Right.
That's their dad. That's not their husband. It's that was my husband. So I just learned how to keep that to myself, but I also don't want them to think mommy's acting like everything's okay, because they have experienced things. So they know. I tell them all the time, mommy does not like daddy, because they'll say like, why can't you guys get back together? I don't like daddy. I don't. Oh. But I think being honest with your children helps them live a realistic life. Because if I say, no, yeah, me and daddy, we're just gonna, if I say me and daddy, we're just, we're not gonna be together. Okay, well, if y'all can get along, why can't you be together? No, I don't like him. But I wish him well. Okay. I pray that you and your relationship with your father will blossom into something that you need and want. And that has nothing to do with me, because he's not my dad. He's your dad. But mommy can't be with her husband because the relationship just did not work. That has nothing to do with him being your daddy, though. So I think some women have to learn how to not project their marital issues on their children, because that's not the children's marriage. That's the children's father, and vice versa. So I go extra hard because I think that he struggles with not projecting his issues with me onto them, because there's been plenty of times they'll come home like, daddy called you stupid, or daddy called you a fool, or when we first got the house, oh, my daddy's house is bigger, this is not your home is with me, like all these things. And you don't realize the things that you're saying to them, they're holding on to it. Why would daddy say something like this, or why would he say this, or why? And I would just say, we just gotta pray for daddy. Like, I wouldn't even say, oh my gosh, your father's dumb for saying. No, I just like, we just gotta pray for daddy, because sometimes he'll say things that's not right, and his anger can get the best of him. And he does admit, like, get it from daddy. Watch what you say before you say it. Learn from your father. I'm trying to teach you. But even though he says this, you have to be an example of it.
He's probably battling with himself to be that person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's
so I go the extra mile. There'll be some times I'll just be like, but I watch what I say in front of them, because they're so sensitive, and they're girls.
Right.
So it's like, that's supposed to be, their first love, but they're struggling with the fact that you saying not so nice things about my mama, and I don't like it.
Right.
But they are not old enough to, they're still young, where you can kind of manipulate them with, oh, let's go to the park. Well, let's go, you can redirect, but they're going to enter the age where you can't do that anymore. And they're just going to be like, I don't want nothing to do with you. So I hope that that relationship grows in a way where that doesn't happen. But I don't know. I just pray for them all the time, because I don't want them to grow up with daddy issues.
Right.
But that would be something that I will always be there to support them. But that's something they're going to have to navigate in their life on their own, even though they have my support. But I just pray that they are able to navigate that and not deal with, oh, I'm like this because of my daddy. No, we're not even going to speak that. You'll be just fine.
Right. Okay. What have your co-parenting experience been like?
So I'm speaking my truth. Okay. But I'm trying my hardest I don't want to talk bad about him. But the truth is the truth. So I have them most of the time. He has them when he can get them, but I still feel like he could do more. Okay. And that's just kind of like where I am with that, because I don't want to shame him as a dad, but I also know my truth that I am super mom, as some people call me.
Do what you got to do.
I do what I have to do. So while there's a contributing factor financially, it doesn't matter. You can give them all the money in the world. If there's no relationship there, or even if you are there, because it's not saying that he's completely absent, but when you do have them, if all they experience anger the most, what do you think they're getting from that relationship?
Right.
So I try to teach them how to feel safe, or teach them not even how to feel safe, but learn where they are safe and when they're not. Like, if someone doesn't make you feel safe, you don't have to open up to that person, or you don't have to trust that person. I don't care who it is, your father, your aunt, like, it doesn't matter who it is. Right. So teaching them that balance and teaching them boundaries from young. This way, like, if your father does say something, I'm not saying you gotta, I may not like him, but you will never disrespect him.
Right.
But learning how to still put boundaries there. Like, daddy, that's not nice. Or mommy, that's not nice. Don't say that. So the co-parenting is just, we're working on it.
Working on it. Okay. Is there any advice for newly single moms that's navigating both parenting and healing that you have for anyone?
I would say a lot of self-reflection. I can speak for myself. Like I said before, I don't like to claim that I am, religious. I have a relationship with God. That's how I look at it. And I rely heavily on that. You can say something, but you got to be about it. If I say that I want to live, I'm in my soft girl era, as some people say, then be about it. You can't say I'm in my soft girl era, but every time you see homeboy, you like no, you can't do that.
Like,
right,
no,
exactly.
right.
So if you know that being aggressive, I'm glad you said that, is something that you struggle with, let's figure out ways that you can combat that. So if it means go getting your nails done or something that makes you just feel soft and pretty or relaxed, even if it's going, I don't know, to the gym or sitting outside, like, for myself, I have all of a sudden become a lover of nature. Now, ask anybody who knows me from young. I was never the one who wanted to be outside. My mom always tells me, like, my grandmother would take me to the park and I would stand in a sandbox and be like, no, thanks. I wanted to wear a skirt every day. I didn't like getting dirty.
Oh, wow.
I was so prissy. I just, no. But now, like, when I got my house, the first thing I did, after I closed, I went and I laid. I have the septic mound. We have a septic tank. I laid on the septic tank and I was just looking at the sky and I was just like, thank you, Lord. But I just was like, I was looking at the trees. I was embracing the wind, looking at the clouds. And I'm like, okay, Reese, this was not you over 20 years ago.
I feel like as we get older, though, we learn to appreciate God's gifts that He gave to us. Yes. So it's like even learning certain things, walking on the grass and ground and the trees and the nature, looking at the mountains, looking at the colorful leaves, like just all these different things.
You're so appreciative.
Yeah, yes.
So for me, that helped me overcoming a lot. So whatever it is that you feel will help you with moving forward, then I encourage you to find whatever that is and hold on to it. Don't just say it, do it, exercise it.
What resources or advice would you give to other women preparing financially during or after a divorce?
Okay, so it's a lot of sacrifice. Stop ordering from Shein. Stop ordering from Amazon. I had to do things that made sense. I know me, when I go to Walmart, or Target, even though I know we ain't supposed to be shopping at Target, but when I go to Walmart, I'm grabbing things that I necessarily do not need. So I started doing pickup order. And I noticed I started saving money that way. So I was looking for any ways that I can save money.
Okay.
I found this thing called the 100 envelope challenge.
Okay.
Where you fill up 100 envelopes, you label it 2 through 100. And if you filled up all the envelopes, by the end, you have $10,000. So I was determined. I was like, I'm going to do this. Okay. And I used the money that I would get from doing hair or just, any money someone would have blessed me with or whatever. I would just fill up them envelopes and doing the strategic way of shopping, not doing extra shopping. Okay, we don't need this. Okay. We don't need this extra snack.
Prioritizing.
Yes, you already have a blue sweater. I'm not buying another blue sweater.
Okay.
Just you're prioritizing and making financial responsible decisions helped me save faster.
Okay.
And then also just changing my mindset. Like, I don't want to always have to save to do something. I want to put myself in a predicament or the position to where if I'm going to do something, I can just do it.
Okay.
So acknowledging your bad habits and getting rid of them is one.
Okay.
So if you know that you cannot afford a BMW, go get the Honda, get the regular gas, and save the extra money. Because if you can't afford to change a tire on a BMW, you don't need to have a BMW. There's nothing wrong with the Honda Accord. It's a car. It gets you from A to B.
Amen.
There's nothing wrong with a Toyota. It gets you from A to B. A lot of people who sitting on money, they're not driving around these fancy cars. And there's nothing wrong with a fancy car because I do want,
But no, it's still, you still got to know, you don't live outside of your means.
But even with that, you have to redefine your means when it comes to something like this. Okay. So I knew, and then even with preparing, I was in the best shape of my life. Like, I was just like, I am not eating bread. I don't need bread. My girls already have allergies. They don't need to eat this bread. So they can, changing a lot helped change my mindset, which put me in a position to make better decisions. Okay. So I had a goal. I knew I'm buying a house and I have to do it. Like, there's no way, all right, it just didn't happen. No, I have to do it.
Right.
So I have to set myself up to make this happen. I cut out some things. I downgraded my phone plan. Like I just did a lot of things that helped me save money. And that money I saved, I put it away instead of thinking, oh, I got money. Let's just, no.
Spend it.
Yeah, like don't go out, but don't limit yourself either, because you don't want to bleed yourself dry to where you have nothing to give. I did allow myself, okay, you know what? I saved the extra $500 this month. Let me take $20 and I don't know, go buy some jerk chicken. Like, it's just let me splurge on dinner tonight. Yeah, treat yourself.
So you don't feel deprived.
Exactly. Because even people who work out, they do that. You eat good. And then when someone offers you a cookie, no, I can't. No, it's
cheat
okay.
Day.
Have a cheat day, but recognize that this is just a cheat day, I'm not cheating life anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, don't go overboard. Don't go crazy. Treat yourself, because it's like, just like how you treat children. You did so good. Now I'm gonna go buy you this toy. You know, like do that for yourself.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I would encourage women to do. Like, just make better decisions, create a goal and stick with it. But in order to stick with it, you have to redefine and gut out some things that don't belong. And take accountability. Like I said, you don't need that bag. You got a bag already.
Right.
Go borrow somebody's bag and give it back.
Okay. So this part is called dating and relationships. So this is a little personal.
Okay.
Have you started dating again? And if yes, what's been different this time around?
Yes, I have started dating again.
Okay.
And what's different is, one, I'm older now. I met my ex-husband when I was 18 or 19. Didn't really have responsibility. I was in college. My only responsibility was to get good grades. But now I have a whole life. I have children. I got a job. And I'm building a business. It's a lot more on my plate. I'm a lot wiser now. I'm just not going to tolerate any nonsense. So I know where I'm at with my walk with Christ. I know what I expect in a partner, but I also want to be realistic. I'm not like, oh, you didn't pray today? All right, no, you're not good. No, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
But I also know there's boundaries there. So it's just, and I have to be sensitive. Like, I'm going through this. The kids are still young, and I'm not going to deprive myself from having a good time, but I want to be mindful of, I'm just not bringing anybody around my girls.
Okay.
I have to be an example to them. So I don't want to look like, okay, mommy's just jumping from guy to guy to guy. And one, that's just not my nature. Okay. But I want to be sensitive and protective over them, because while, yes, I don't have a husband anymore, they have lost not living with both mommy and daddy in a home. So I don't want them to think that I'm just out here trying to replace daddy, even though this has nothing to do with him. But, you have to think how kids think, and kind of protect their minds in a way, but be honest. So, like, they know that mommy's dating, and they're like, "Can you get married so we be flower girls?" I'm like, pump your brakes. Hold up.
Okay. Do you have any boundaries or standards now that you didn't have before?
I would say in my marriage, I altered myself a lot to be what I thought he wanted me to be. So, like, if he would say, "I need you to do this," okay, I would do it. Anything to kind of make my marriage work, because it was a constant, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And I felt for it, and I would change and do things because I thought that's what make me a good wife. Now I'm just like, no, I knew I was a good wife. I know I'm a good person. I know I am the prize, and I'm not going to allow anyone to make me feel that I'm not. If you can't handle this prize, it's okay. Just put the tongs down, pick somebody else. Like, you know how you the vending machine where you do just don't pick me up. Pick something else.
What are your red flags or even green flags you now pay attention to?
Anger.
Okay.
I watch how people deal with certain situations that piss them off. If I see that you cannot regulate something that really pisses you off, that means something deeper in there.
Okay.
So I'm not taking on another project. So not saying that you can't get angry, because there's some things that happen in people's lives that will piss you off, and you have every right to be upset at something. But if you're taking that situation and the anger from that situation and you're bleeding on me when I have nothing to do with it, bright red flag. No. I refuse, because I've dealt with that. And I just feel like it's not fair. Like, some people will take out their anger. Like, it could be something like, I had a bad day, I don't want to talk to you because I'm mad. That's little. But if you're constantly blowing up on me because you're trying to hide something that you don't want to deal with, I'm not dealing with that.
Right.
So that's a major red flag for me.
Okay.
Just how you treat other people. If you try to make people feel small to make you feel big, nope.
So did your divorce shift your faith, belief, or spiritual journey at all?
Yes, I would say that it made me grow closer to God because I learned to lean on him, and I learned to stop making decisions and then be like, can you fix this? Just like how we teach our kids, like, don't touch the stove.
When you say, can you fix this, you're talking about God?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
okay, then right now.
So,
okay.
like I told you don't touch the stove. I told you don't touch the heater. I told you don't touch the fan. And kids, they don't listen. And sometimes we're like the children who don't listen. So here I am with this problem. And it's like, all right, I know you told me not to go over there, but I did it anyway. So I need you to fix this. No. Even though I'm still going to have some of those moments where I'm like, all right, God, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. But now I know the consequence of moving like that.
Okay.
I don't want to keep having these humbling moments. So,
oh wow.
I've learned to just stop moving ahead and then like looking back and God's back there.
Right.
Like, stop trying to get ahead and really lean on him. And it's really not that hard. It's just we want what we want as humans.
Absolutely.
And we want it now. We have such a microwave thought process.
Oh my God.
And we don't take our time like back then. Turn on the oven. Let it heat up. Then heat up your food. No, we pop it in for a minute. We good.
That's how society is.
You don't realize, even with that mentality, how many times have you heated up your food, but when you get to the middle, it's still cold?
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to slow down and realize it's okay. Take your time. And if you don't get the answer right away, that doesn't mean that it's a no. It's not a denial. It's just probably a not right now.
Right.
But we don't like to hear that because we want what we want and we want it when we want it. But the consequences are just, it's not worth moving like that.
It's funny you say that because I spoke on that before. A lot of times people will say, God, why me? And then they like to blame God. But sometimes God is talking to you and you're not listening. He's putting things in front of you that you should be paying attention to and giving you signs and signals, but you don't know how to hear him speaking to you. So you go and you do things that feel good to your flesh.
Yes.
And then you get in trouble and you're like, why? He's putting me through this. No.
But then you have to answer. You have to look at it like,
predicament.
Instead of saying, why me? Why not me? Because had I not gone through all this, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. And I wouldn't be in a position to help other women, even men, help other people learn how to deal with certain situations. Because I feel like there's a calling for everybody. And I know part of my calling is to just help people with the heart that I have, even with my clients. Like every client that I have, unless you're requested a quiet appointment, which I don't mind because I'll pop up my music, I'll get you in and out. But some people, they really unload. And I ask God to give me the words to say to these people, not from what I think, but what they need to hear. And they leave not only looking good, but they feel good because they got what they needed. Some people, it's not just praying in a church and that's where you hear from God. You hear from God from anywhere, anyone, anything. I always recommend people to watch the movie The Shack because it shows how God shows up for people in different ways. He can show up in anything, a female. I feel like where people lack, since we're talking about like divorce or just let's say a man who grew up without a mom and is kind of has a hatred for women because they lack that relationship. A lot of times they'll meet God in women to show them that softness or that love that they did not have growing up. Same thing for females. God will show up in a man to give them that love and that comfort and that protection that they needed that they did not have. But people are so quick to think like you got to be laid out, slain at the altar to meet God. No. God is here right now.
Amen.
He's anywhere and everywhere. And I feel if people have that mentality and that mindset, it's more comforting to realize like I don't need to have on a robe and a collar to help someone or bring them to God. No, those days were over. That was before Christ. But that's, I can go on about that.
Okay. How do you practice self-love now?
So that's still a work in progress for me. I am learning. I'm still learning myself.
Okay.
Even now, like even with my haircut, like I used to have locks and I had to cut it off because I have alopecia. Okay. And when I cut it off, I was in the mirror bawling. Like I like a lemon head now. Like I cannot go outside looking like this. And my mom is just like, it's good. So I'm wearing wigs, I'm wearing hats, I'm wearing my wraps. And I'm just like, I can't keep doing this. And I would laugh at myself. Like I was in ShopRite before I like went to a barber. I was in ShopRite, I had a head wrap on and I was on the phone with my mom and I start laughing. And she's like, what are you laughing at? I was like, my head wrap just fell off. And we're crying, laughing, and people behind me in self-checkout, they're just looking like, because to them it just looks like I have a haircut. They don't know what I'm actually dealing with. Yeah. So, but they're looking at me like, this lady's crazy because I'm just laughing at the self-checkout line and I'm holding up the line. But I've learned to just love myself regardless of what it is, whatever physical thing, mental thing. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go to the barber. I said, can you just make me look feminine as possible? And they're like, yeah, I got you. And he was like, good thing about the way alopecia is, it kind of gave you like a skin fade. So we'll just shape it up. And then when I got it, I've never, and you know me for a while, I've had my hair in so many different ways. Right. But this haircut, I have never, ever received the amount of compliments I've received since I got this haircut, I've never gotten throughout my entire life. Wow. But it helps me realize like it's not about the stuff that we put on.
Oh, absolutely not.
And it's not even about this haircut. It's about the confidence that I exude now because I've learned to love myself more. So I'm still like learning the things that, you know, that I like to do because I'm be so focused on my kids or so focused on the marriage or just focused on other people that I have to take time for myself. So I feel like that's always like a learning curve because even as you get older, there might be something else that you like we were talking about nature. Right. I would have never thought that would be a thing that come out my mouth. But I'm still learning. But I think the most important part about that is dedicating the time to find out the things that you like and love, serving yourself in that way. Because we have to, how could we keep pouring out if we don't pour in?
Absolutely.
Eventually, I'm going to be pouring out from an empty cup.
And you don't want to do that because then it becomes resentment after that.
No, it does. It's resentment, it's anger. You fall into depression.
Yes.
It's just, you can't keep giving and not giving back to yourself. Even with the partner, like you can't keep taking from your partner and not putting deposits in. Right. You can't go to the ATM and take money out. There's no money there.
Absolutely.
So if I keep demanding stuff from you, but I'm not pouring back into you, I can't get mad when there's nothing else to give.
Okay. That's some jewels right there. All right. What advice would you give to women currently considering divorce?
Really ask yourself, why are you getting it? Don't say, I don't like how he spoke to me last night. Or I don't like, check off the boxes. Is this just something that happened or is it a recurring thing? Okay. Also, think about how did y'all end up together? Because some people, we just love each other. We've known each other for so long. So what? There are people who meet each other last month and they're married this month. Who am I to say, it's too soon? Some people just know because they know we align here. We like the same things, or the things that I don't necessarily even like, I can deal with, I can tolerate. I just know that this is something that God has put together. Just because you know somebody over a decade don't mean that that's the one. And just because you've known someone since you were in high school don't mean that's the one, because we're not the same. You know, we met each other you change over time. Your likes change. I mean, there are some characteristics that remain the same because some people just don't grow up. Physically you grew up, but mentally you're still that same annoying or whatever, or someone who avoids. And that's just something internally that you have to deal with. But when it comes to wanting a divorce, are you doing it because of a situation or are you doing it because of the lifestyle? Is your lifestyle toxic? Is your lifestyle depressing? Is your lifestyle not fulfilling? Is there no growth there? If those things are like detrimental or not encouraging you to grow as a person, then yeah. But if it's just because I keep asking him to pick up the groceries and he doesn't, that's just a communication issue. Right. You're just not aligning with certain things. That doesn't, because you can have that same argument or disagreement with a friend or a family member. That doesn't mean you just write them off. Right. So if you've literally, like that song says, after you've done all you can, you just stand. After you've done all you can and you still can't stand, then it's time to go seek a lawyer.
Okay. What do you wish someone told you during your divorce process?
That it's okay to own your truth. And it's not that I didn't get the encouragement. I would encourage, like my family, they have been the most supportive ever. But I am still learning to not be ashamed of the things that I've gone through.
Okay. In
protection of whoever. Mm-hmm. So like there might be people who watch this that are going to be mad. I'm sorry that you're mad, but I really do not care. And I mean that in the most respectful way possible. Okay. There are going to be things that people learn or heard today that are just like, how dare she say that? It's my truth. Okay. And I believe I said it with enough sensitivity and grace to where I'm not disrespecting anybody, but I would be disrespecting myself if I act like the things that happened didn't affect me or my children. So like, you know, we touched lightly on it, but just even when I was packing to move from the marital home to my house now, even the things that I like, my clothes, I was looking at my mom. I was like, I was wearing this. Like, what is that? And she
what did it look like? I'm curious.
Things that I would not wear. Like and when I look back on pictures, like some of the wigs that I had on, like you could see in my face that I was drowning. Like it was just not me. It was not me. My mom said, like, I know that you were depressed. But see, a lot of people, you know, you hear some people say, oh, I have anxiety or I'm depressed or no. I firmly believe that people who are depressed and people who do deal with anxiety don't know that they are going through that. They just know that something's wrong or they know something's not quite right. But people who I got anxiety, stop picking up what don't belong to you. Everyone has feelings of anxiousness. Everyone it's natural to feel nervous. Like, heck, I was nervous driving here. Like, oh my God, what am I going to say? Like, God, please be my mouthpiece. I don't want to say nothing that's detrimental or rude or disrespectful but I don't want to cover what I have to share.
Right.
But people oh yeah, I have depression. Why are you saying that? Stop claiming that. Yes, you have thoughts that are depressing. Yes, you have gone through a lot. But if you don't want to deal with that, first, change your language.
There you go.
Change your language. Like, stop saying, like, this new thing of I have anxiety. Stop it.
You got to be careful with the words that come out of your mouth.
You speak.
Yes.
And this is not to say that to take away from anyone's experience. It's to say, this is making me feel anxious. Instead of claiming that I have anxiety, because if anything the enemy is going to do is torture you with the things that you have spoken with out loud. So if I have anxiety, guess who's always going to be in your ear? Like that movie, what's that children's movie? Oh shoot, my kids like it, with the different emotions, anxiety, anger.
I don't know. We've been out the kids game for a minute.
Oh man, I forgot what it's called. And the girls like it all the time. But it's a good movie to show. Yes, thank you. Inside Out.
Inside Out.
Inside Out. That is an amazing. Listen, I encourage every adult, especially the second one, to watch that movie, because it shows that you cannot have sadness without joy. You can't have joy because it's always an opposite.
I think I do remember that.
Yes, there's always an opposite to whatever it is. So how could I know joy if I've never experienced sadness?
Yes.
But if I know I want to experience joy, I'm not going to claim, oh my God, I'm so sad and I have anxiety. Yeah, well, I guess you do, because now you don't know anything else, or you're refusing to know something else.
Right.
So like, even with the things that I've gone through with the depression, there's also something called dissociative amnesia. And I'll speak a little bit on it because it still makes me very like emotional. Okay. But a lot of women don't realize, like, some people like to blame things on mom brain. No, even though mom brain, it's a thing that we like to say, but it's a real thing for people who have gone through traumatic situations. And basically what happens is it's the brain to protect itself from the trauma. So like my youngest child, I do not remember her infancy. And I am grateful that I literally took pictures, videos, all the things, because I have that to remember. But if I didn't have that, I don't have recollection of her infancy, my middle child when she was 2, and the eldest at 4.
Really?
Yes. And it's a thing. I mean, you can look it up.
What is it called?
Dissociative amnesia.
Okay.
So when someone goes through something traumatic, especially abuse, it's the brain's way to protect itself, to forget the trauma. But with forgetting the trauma, you forget your day-to-day things. So a lot of women who be like, oh, I don't even remember that. You might be experiencing that. And this is not to add, like, people, I always use the example of people like, oh, I'm anemic. Did you go to the doctor? Did they say you're anemic, or are you just cold? Do you need a blanket? Like, you know, people, they like to say, I'm anemic. No, you're not. You probably.
I better stop saying I got ADHD, because I swear I be claiming it. I be like,
seriously,
it's so wrong.
But even with that, I feel like we're all, you know, a little autistic, but that's just the brain's way of trying to tell you, slow down, slow down. But with that, a lot of women who've experienced domestic violence, whether it be emotional, mental, physical abuse, it's the brain's way to, the body, the brain is an amazing thing. Absolutely. The way it forms to protect itself from certain things. Because when I think back on, like, some people will say, well, what happened when you had this? Sometimes I don't remember, because the brain has protected itself from constantly replaying those situations in my mind.
I guess what I don't understand, right, is that your trauma happened when you were young. So now you're older, you have your own kid. Why is it that it's replaying at the time of the most important times in your life that are joyful when it comes to your kids? You know, why is it happening at those times? You know,
I think when you don't heal, so like I buried that trauma for so long. So because I buried it, and it happened at an age where I was introduced to something that my brain wasn't ready for, I was ashamed. Like, when I got older and started to become sexually active or just romantic with people, I didn't treasure my body how a woman should, because it was something that was robbed of me. So how could I protect something that I didn't have? So dealing with that, once I've learned that my anger, my way of just thinking or being repulsive was tied to that, I didn't relate it to the trauma. Because I just thought, like, I'm just angry. But why are you angry, Risa? What is wrong? But it's because I wanted to feel protected and nobody was there to protect me. But even as an adult, I still wanted protection. But how could anyone protect me if they didn't know? Right. So healing from that has helped me realize you need something from someone. You have to speak up. You have to speak out. So even with that, I know what happened to me, but I'm not like sitting in the corner like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Even though that is real for some people, but I believe my body and my brain has just went into protection mode. But because I've healed from it, I can speak on it from a different aspect or a different view. But when it came to my marriage, because it was something that was more just constant. See, that trauma that happened when I was little, it was that one time. It wasn't a consistent thing. But something that's constant, the brain would be like, all right, you're not doing enough. We're going to do it. We're just going to shield it so you can just forget this happened. But with forgetting that happened, you forget other things. So it's a thing I'm still studying up on it. It's a real thing. I have a therapist we talk about it, and she's like, it's definitely a real thing, and you definitely are a victim of that. And a lot of women don't realize that they are. It's so taboo to talk about these things. And sometimes you'll look at them like, oh, I don't remember that happened. Yeah, it did happen. And it's not your fault that you don't remember. And it's okay. Like, it sucks. I wish I could, but I'm grateful. Like I said, I have Google Photos. I recorded and took pictures of everything, and I'm grateful that I have. But it just sucks that I can't, because, you know, Layla, I remember everything about my first baby, every single thing. But my last child, sometimes I would say she was such a peaceful baby, and I'm grateful. But there would be times I would look at her, because she just didn't cry. I would look at her and I'm like, did I feed her? Like, I don't remember. But it's not even so much that I was negligent. I was there. I mean, you've experienced my children when they were little. I did everything I had to do to take care of them kids. Of course. But there were some things that I just couldn't. I'm like, we ate dinner? Like, it was just, and I was starting to feel like slow. Like, why can't I remember, not realizing in the moment, like, because you're going through this. But it's not until now, researching this thing, it's a real thing. And don't let anybody ever tell you. Or related to like postpartum depression. No, that's completely different. Okay. That's completely different. Like, research and do your due diligence on how to protect yourself and learn about the things that your body is experiencing. And don't let anybody discredit you because your experience doesn't seem real to them. Or, because I've experienced mental and emotional abuse, some people, but he didn't hit you though. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because it's still abuse. Right. And if anything, mental, it's something that just replays. A wound can heal. Heck, I may have wounds. You don't see anything because I have clothes on. But my mental it spills out. Look at all the people who are suffering from things. You mentioned R. Kelly. Look at him. I'm sure he was a victim of abuse when he was little. But because he's so talented, we're just going to use him to write all these beautiful songs. But no one's helping him heal from his mental traumas. And because of that, he is what? He has manipulated or abused young girls and can't recognize or own that he has done because he's still a child. Even though, yes, he's a grown adult, his mental is still the boy from, when he was abused. And he's just one of many examples. So, look at the limelight, the guy who's in the limelight now. Like, somebody messed with that Diddy child when he was young. Because the stuff that he's doing now is like, I always say, if someone can wake up and be okay with hurting another human being, something's wrong with your brain. This doesn't mean you don't suffer consequences, but just throwing people in jail or getting them beat up by somebody, that doesn't help them.
Right.
It doesn't. Right. Something went wrong and nobody protected that person when they were younger, when they needed the protection. But as they're older, they should know better. Mm-hmm. They should know better, but you didn't hold the person who abused them accountable. You never said they should know better. But now because they're older, they should know better? No, that doesn't make any sense.
That's deep. We went all the way there to Diddy. I mean, damn, okay.
I'm just, if he can literally hurt females, there's something wrong with him. And I hope he gets the help that he needs. I mean, he's going to suffer consequences as he should, but there's something wrong. There's something wrong because if I wake up and want to hurt someone just because I feel like I have the power to do so, something's wrong with your brain. Something's not clicking there.
The last question that I have for you. So I'm going to combine them. What do you define peace and happiness to be like now? And what does your new chapter in your life look like? And are you excited about it?
I'm beyond excited. Peace and happiness for me is learning that life is still going to life, but how am I going to deal with it?
Okay.
So the problems don't stop. The bills don't stop. The people who are dumb don't stop. the people who are not nice don't stop. Just because, people like to take a situation and use that as, life was great today. No, life is great every day.
Right.
Even with the things that are not fair, even with the things that are just that upset you, you're alive and you're breathing. Right. Even though there are some unfortunate circumstances, how are you dealing with that? That's how I'm looking at life now. Like, yes, I'm going through this horrible divorce. And yes, I am, financially responsible for these children. Yes, a lot of things are now weighing on me. But am I just going to sit at home and be like, oh my gosh, I got a divorce and now I got to pay a mortgage by myself. And now I have to do this. And now I got to mow the lawn. And now I got to, now I got to go change my own car oil. And now I got to do all these things. But it's like, okay, so what? You were able to do all these things. Mm-hmm. I look at it as, yes, these are the cards that are given to me, but how am I going to shuffle them? How am I going to deal them out? I can either sit at home and be, woe is me, or I can just use the joy that God gave me and go about my day and be fine. Even if it took me almost 2.5 hours to get here when it shouldn't have.
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm just saying, it's just life is going to life, and it's just, I can't base situations on my peace and happiness. I base my peace and happiness on I have peace and happiness. I have joy, regardless of if it rained for 30 days straight. I don't know where everybody's living, but it's been raining. It's been chilly. It's been been muddy. It's been yucky. It's whatever. But I also feel like it's just the cleanse that the earth needs right now.
Maybe, that's a good way to look at it. Okay.
It's the cleanse that the earth needs right now. So we can still have joy. We still have peace. We still have happiness, regardless of the sun shining or not.
I like that. And that's a great way to end it too. But we're going to close out. I want to thank you so much for coming and talking with us.
Thank you for having me.
For everybody that's tuned in and watching this episode, this is Life After Divorce with Risa.
Yes.
Here on Talk Therapy, where conversation is the cure. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all in the next episode. Peace.
We hope you enjoyed your time with From the Ground Up Productions. We'll see you next time. Be sure to add our channel and listen to us on all streaming platforms. From the Ground
there's only one way to go from here.